Happy Wednesday, everybody, and welcome to a brand new live episode of the Hot Mic here on the Outlaw Nation channel. I am the Outlaw John Rocha, joined as always by the Sneider himself there, Jeff Sneider. What's going on?
No hello, Johnny boy, today.
Oh,
sorry. Instead, you get hello, birthday boy. Happy birthday, Johnny.
Thank you, brother. Thank you very, very much.
1 year away from the senior citizen discount at the movie theater.
Hey, Denny's, hold my seat. I'll be there soon. Give me that early breakfast and what have you. But fun time. Just today, the Lady Outlaw, if you guys have followed me on my social media, made me a butter pecan cheesecake. It's exquisite. Had me a couple of birthday cards that were really sweet. One Star Trek themed, one Game of Thrones themed. So whatever else is going on in my world, I got an amazing woman by my side who was very kind to me this morning for my birthday. So there it is. Thank you very much. And thank you, Jeff, for the sweet wishes. And to everybody else who might be watching us who sent some nice sweet wishes today. I appreciate it. But we're here to talk about the world of entertainment. And Jeff, just because it's my birthday doesn't mean shit stops happening. We got so much to get into here in the world of entertainment. We're going to talk a little Venom 3 action, maybe some reviews, a little Conclave action review. We've got some trailers. We got some Blade conversations to have. Tom Holland and Christopher Nolan's new movie. So much happening and more here on this particular episode. And remember, Streamlabs super chats are open. Send in your love. Send in your support. If you want to send it in through Streamlabs, that's what I prefer. If you're sending in any birthday wishes, because they get that money immediately. If you send in super chat, it's going to take about a month and a half before we see any of that. So send in your love as much as you can. It's right there above Jeff's head. It's pinned in the chats and description of the video as we go along here. But thanks so much for joining us with this time change. But Jeff, this news broke about 40 minutes ago. I suppose we should start here. This is a big situation going on. There is an American Psycho remake that is happening here. Some people are excited about this. Some people are not so excited about this. Luca Guadagnino is involved in this one. And Variety did a breakdown of people they would recommend or they suggest we could look at to play Patrick Bateman. Quite a few names were popped up in here. Let's take a look real quick at some of the representations here. We see there Dev Patel, Aubrey Plaza, a number of other faces that were involved in this one. So Jeff, hey, what are your thoughts about an American Psycho remake? And what are your thoughts about who should be playing Patrick Bateman in Variety? What Variety had to say?
I mean, I'm going to write about it, I think, in the newsletter soon. I don't know if it'll be tonight, but okay. So I won't give away all my choices. But I thought their list was decent, if a little lazy. I think the big thing that we have to talk about is this going to be another straight white guy?
Right.
Especially with Luca at the helm.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be someone who's, bisexual, potentially just gay, or could it be a woman? I did like that they put a couple of women on the list, including Aubrey Plaza, who I had thought of for some other traditionally male roles.
Yeah.
Because there is something a little terrifying about her.
Yeah. Yeah. Quite an interesting list. Jacob Elordi's on this list. Charles Melton is on this list. As I mentioned, Dev Patel. Finn Wittrock is an interesting choice. Will Poulter, I could totally see. Margaret Qualley, who, of course, is off of The Substance, is getting a lot of press and coverage here. Drew Starkey, Manny Jacinto, who a lot of people enjoyed coming out of The Acolyte. Maybe the only thing people enjoyed coming out of The Acolyte. Harris Dickinson, who both of us have talked about quite a lot. Cooper Cott and Lucien Laviscount. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't know him too well because I don't watch Emily in Paris. But it's a good list. But I like the idea of it being someone of color, and I like the idea of it being a woman, like something challenging for the audience, because that's what made that Bret Easton Ellis novel so challenging to read at the time when it came out. Are there any ones that you want to throw out, or any ones of the choices that they made that you felt could maybe be in the wheelhouse for?
I'll put it this way.
Okay.
Jamie's gonna be upset because I'm gonna give this one away for free. Okay. This is gonna be a tease because Jamie and I have thought about this the last few days.
Oh, okay.
Right? This isn't just something that you go around the office and get, hey, a quick suggestion for.
Right.
Okay. You know who wanted to play a serial killer and was going to play a serial killer before Netflix pulled the plug?
Who?
Mr. Robert Pattinson.
Oh, okay.
Right? He was going to star in Adam McKay's serial killer movie.
Oh, right. He? Yes.
And they pulled the plug. So Robert Pattinson, I think, would be interesting. And I just don't know if it's too close to, like, that's what Christian Bale did. He's fucking Batman.
Yeah, true.
So it's like, that's, you know, you could accuse that of being lazy, but there's actual logic behind the choice. Whereas, like, you know, with some of the people, I think, on Variety's list, you know, it's not a whole lot of logic.
I like the Harris Dickinson choice, though.
Harris Dickinson is a good choice.
Right.
You know, and I actually like that they put Drew Starkey on, because Drew Starkey worked with Luca Guadagnino on Queer. So, like, that, there's a logic to me behind that choice. You know what I mean? And I think that's what I'm going to be doing with my list is trying to add a little bit of more logic to it.
But isn't there a balance here you have to strike, right? Because, I mean, with the first film, getting Christian Bale, that was the appeal. Christian Bale was the appeal, right? It's a female director. I can't remember her name right now, who directed the first film, or the first adaptation here. She wasn't that well known, but Christian Bale was at the time.
Mary Herron?
Yeah, Mary Herron. She wasn't that well known, but Christian Bale was. And so you go, okay, well, that makes sense. You start. So here you've got Luca Guadagnino, who's obviously the star director here. Who do you bring in? I mean, is Mike Feist out of the conversation? Is Charles O'Connor out of the conversation? I mean, he just worked with them on Challengers. That could be interesting. Does Zendaya want to really play around and, as a woman of color, play this character and maybe have a commentary going on about how women of color are treated in a certain way? And so the things she's doing, it's kind of a commentary. There's a lot of ways you can go with this, and a lot of great actors Guadagnino's hat. I mean, it's Dakota throw her hat in the ring, for God's sake. So it's interesting.
I think it's interesting. Again, I've been thinking about this since February, because when I wrote about this in February, that there was going to be an American Psycho reboot.
All right.
That they were taking pitches and everything. So I actually started out following development news with American Psycho when I was 12.
When you were 12?
Yeah.
12.
When I was 12.
You knew about this novel when you were 12?
Yes.
Who gave you this book?
I was fascinated by serial killers already at the age of 12.
Wow.
And at the time, Leonardo DiCaprio was attached.
Oh,
could have been
okay.
It could have been 13. Could have been 13. But
either way, it's under 18, and that's way too young.
And like the book is way more graphic than
the movie.
Yeah. So and like that's what got me. But Christian Bale was not necessarily the draw, I don't think, on American Psycho. Do you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For the first time, when it could be. Yeah,
he wasn't that big a star though. Like what?
He was becoming a big star. Yes, he was coming out of a number of films that he got.
He worked with Spielberg and been in Newsies, but he wasn't like oh, I'm going to see the new Christian Bale movie. He's in this movie, American Psycho.
Well, I think it was Bret Easton Ellis, right? Because let me tell you, I was working at big bookstores as an assistant manager at the time. And I remember that book, when it came out, was a massive controversy. We had to stack it in the front, in the front of the cashier area, because people were getting offended if they saw the book out in the front area. Because in Virginia, you had people walk in and go, "Why are you selling that book? What's that all about?" So we had to move it closer to the cashier area so that it was we monitored it so people would only see it if they happen to go all the way into the store. You know, it was that big of a book, and Bret Easton Ellis was becoming a name off of that book, and other books, of course, which had come out around that before that as well. But yeah, it's an interesting question. I thought he was becoming a name. What do you got? Newsies, Swing Kids, Little Women, Pocahontas, right?
He'd done some stuff, but he wasn't like
Portrait of a Lady, Metroland, Velvet Goldmine, Midsummer Nights. I mean, he'd been the lead in a lot of independent feature films, man. So it wasn't necessarily a blockbuster world in the early 90s. These were the names that you knew if you knew about film.
I do think, though, that you need a name.
You do? Okay. You think you do. Guadagnino's not enough. Like, you couldn't find an unknown and make it work. You need to have a name, just the excitement of seeing them portray this character.
I just think Lionsgate, right, is at a point where they can't take a whole lot of chances. Like, if this is like IP that they're going to resurrect, this has to be a hit, which means that they have to pay a star.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's a great point because I just read that article in Variety about Lionsgate, like 7 losses in a row, and they've mitigated some of the losses, but it's still a tough year for them this past year.
Yes, it was.
And so they you're right. They need
things go in cycles. Like last year they had John Wick and they had Saw. Yeah. So this year they didn't, right. and that you could tell that last year they had Hunger Games too.
Yeah, right. That's
so
just,
they didn't space it out well, I guess.
Yeah. Well, the sequel for that one is coming. So, but what do you think about people saying that we don't need the remake? That Mary Harron film is more than enough?
I think it's time.
You do.
And I think a modern remake would be more interesting, frankly.
Do you think it needs to make a decision about whether he's telling the truth about what he's doing in the novel or not? Like in the film, do you think you need to know if he's actually because Mary Harron's film leaves you wondering if it was true or not?
Right, she leaves it up to interpretation.
Yes.
I would. That's up to Luca.
No, I'm asking you, if you were directing film, which way would you lean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to leave stuff like that open-ended, so I probably would close it off, and like give you like a definitive answer.
Yeah, okay.
Fair point. One way or the other, whether this is like a fantasy or he's actually doing it, but
yeah, fair point.
That's also part of the fun of it.
So Utrecht says Rocha is wrong. Christian Bale was 100% not a marquee name. No, I said he was a well-known name. I didn't say it was a name that put butts in seats. I didn't say he was a movie star. I swear some of you guys just kind of take things that come out of someone's mouth and then run and create your fantasies about what I said. I didn't say that. Yes, he was bumped for Leo and Oliver Stone until the producers came back around to him and Harron. Yes, absolutely, because there was a lot of drama and controversy. Leo didn't want to do it because of what was attached to the backlash of it. And I was shocked that Oliver Stone didn't want to do it, but he didn't want to do it once Leo dropped out. And then they came to Mary Harron. Yeah, I remember all of it. It was a very big deal. But thanks for thinking you knew more than me.
It's just like, do you think that it should be another like beautiful man? Like Jacob Elordi is just like another Christian Bale. Like that's just you can see that already. You
could argue Pattinson is too. I mean, you'd have to be out of the box. I think.
I mean, that's what I'd want to put for sure. Like I'm not necessarily advocating for Pattinson, but I think that. Yeah. I mean, if he's open to playing a serial killer,
what if it's not a skinny white guy? What if it's a guy of size and weight and some kind of look to him that could be challenging and interesting in his approach to being an American Psycho? That could be that could make, because the book is a commentary. The film was a commentary. This, I imagine, will be a commentary. Guadagnino doesn't make films without commentary. So that could be an interesting take if you go with a person who is heavier, a different kind of look, maybe not as attractive. So there's that.
I'm with you on that
animalistic approach to it, I guess I would say. Yeah.
And we thought of like, who was supposed to be the Riddler?
I don't remember who.
Jonah
Hill.
Ooh. Yeah, Jonah or Rogan, who obviously Lionsgate is high on Rogan.
Right.
Like, could either of those guys be it? Like someone who does the same exercise regimen and does the whole serums on the face, and it doesn't matter.
It doesn't work. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. I like that idea. Ooh, I like that idea now more than I think about it.
I mean, I'd like to see someone less alpha, right? Someone a little bit more meek, and that's why I always thought Sarah after Barbie.
Oh. Michael Cera would be interesting. Jesse Eisenberg. Yeah, that kind of
like
look.
A twerp.
Yeah, kind of, for lack of a better term. Yeah.
For lack of a better term.
This is
or do you go like, look, people are like Jonathan Majors. What about Armie Hammer? Like, do you cast like you use their image like to play into it? I don't know. We're gonna get into all that in the newsletter. So guys, subscribe to the newsletter because there's some good stuff coming there.
There you go. Does Lionsgate have the balls to or the guts to cast Armie Hammer in that role?
That'd be anybody else. I can't give any other names away.
There we go. This is when you miss a young Philip Seymour Hoffman. What about Cooper? What about Cooper Hoffman coming out of Saturday Night? That could be interesting. Come on, he was great in that film. Or LaBelle. LaBelle would be interesting as well.
I gotta think of black guys because I think a black American Psycho would be good, but there's only so many like names.
There's only so many black serial killers. It's like literally in one hand,
Well, I'm not going to buy like John Boyega as American Psycho, but
tonight only, John Boyega.
Maybe.
All right. Well, let's move on from that. We'll keep keep tabs on it and keep sending in Streamlabs super chats. People, thank you so much. We've gotten 4 super chats and a few Streamlabs. Keep sending in as we go along. But let's move on to this big story, Jeff, and that is Blade. Marvel Studios, the Blade won't be coming out on November 7th of next year. Disney has pulled this off the release schedule and essentially delayed it indefinitely. Instead, Dan Trachtenberg's Predator movie, Predator Badlands, will be coming out on that date, the one starring Elle Fanning. And then Marvel also announced 3 untitled Marvel movies dated for February 18th of 2028, May 5th of 2028, and November 10th of 2028 to get everybody excited about this. Jeff, this is a crazy situation now. We've gone through 2 directors, at least 6 writers, because sometimes we don't know how many people actually worked on a script. It's just what gets reported, but there are probably more. Mahershala Ali is apparently still attached to the project, which is insane to me at this point. And now we're pulling this, and people are coming up with all kinds of excuses for this, Jeff. Oh, don't you want them to wait to get it right? Or this idea of, well, it's not a multiverse story, so they have to push it. What the hell happened here, brother? What is going on?
I mean, it definitely seems like it's a mess, but yeah, like what are we gonna like? There are some studios that'll leave a movie on the calendar, like a month before, and you're like, unless this movie like has, like how is it supposed to make this date? So okay, they just cop to it like super early, and they're like, this definitely isn't happening by next fall. So I think that they're still committed to making it. I mean, they locked down 3 other dates, but they're in like 2028.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to have to wait that long for Blade, but because again, I'd heard that they were talking to a director. They just, obviously that director, whoever they're talking to, is not going to be ready by next fall.
No, Bassam Tariq and Yann Demange were the previous 2 directors that had exited the project. I will say this. I have a friend. I'm going to throw this out there.
Are you friends with Blade?
No, I wish. He was at Club 23 recently. And Mahershala Ali was walking out. Like they had some kind of combo area kind of thing. And he saw Mahershala Ali walking out from the Disney offices. And he was saying on the phone, I'm really excited at what they're doing here. And I'm happy that they made this decision. And this was 6 to 7 days ago that I was told this. So I'm sure Mahershala Ali knew that they were going to delay this. Now this frees him up to go and do other films and all that kind of stuff. And maybe this is a push to much later after the 2 Avengers films have come out from the Russo brothers. And then you revisit Blade. Because also there was reports around the internet that Midnight Suns was possibly being fast-tracked. And that could be the introduction of Mahershala Ali as Blade. And then you give him his own movie. I don't know. It's an interesting idea. What are your thoughts?
I have no idea. I mean, who else is in Midnight? That's Moon Knight, right?
Moon Knight is in Midnight Suns. It's a rotating lineup. So let me get the original lineup here. Sometimes I forget.
There's 3 of them, right?
There's Blade, Doctor Strange, Elsa Bloodstone, Dr. Voodoo, Wong, and Moon Knight. Those are the Midnight Suns.
All right, so not all of them can get their own movie.
Right, exactly.
Before the big team up, right?
Sometimes Wolverine's a part of Midnight Suns as well.
I thought there were just 3 of them, but
Ghost Rider is a part of Midnight Suns.
Oh yeah, that's the one. I thought it was Ghost, because I think that's what I thought it was going to be. I thought
there's a lot of them, man. Morbius is a part of Midnight Suns.
Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, and Blade.
Even Werewolf by Night's a part, which we've seen already. It's been introduced in the MCU with that Halloween thing. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not. Anything I say is going to be used against me. So,
well, what do you take from this? That they delayed it yet again? Is this because they feel like it's not ready, or do you think it's because it's a multiverse story that they decided, okay, it's not a multiverse story? They decided, okay, we're going to push all this to after Secret Wars, or do you think they legitimately could not break this story, and in the end decided to just kind of wait and come back?
Here's what I will say about that. Okay, here's what I will say about that, because that is interesting. Vampires.
Yes.
A lot of vampires right now. They kind of got beat to the punch.
Yeah. Oh, because of Sinners.
Yeah, I mean, who knows if that Nolan rumor is accurate? You've heard that rumor?
Yeah, I have.
You know, like I own the fact that Jermaine went with that. Like Jermaine is not really prone to, spewing garbage out of his mouth. So, if that is the case,
yeah,
it's a lot of vampire, and it may just be like okay, if the two of the biggest directors in our business are making vampire movies. Like we can't just hire Joe Schmo off the street to direct Blade. Like let's just wait a few years and give it a breath.
Yeah,
could be that.
Well, do you think Mahershala stays on the project 3 years from now? Like
that depends if something else better opens up at DC.
Yeah, and I just wonder if maybe they want to go with a younger black actor to play it. No offense to Mahershala, but and now here's the second question I have of this: does this open the door for this? Does this open the door for Wesley to come in and do a multiverse fourth installment here, produced by Ryan Reynolds and Maximum Effort in league with Marvel, to do a fourth Blade movie with Wesley Snipes that is not necessarily tied into the multiverse? Is that something they might consider?
Anything's possible, but no, I don't think that Marvel would think like that. No, it doesn't sound to me like Kevin's MO.
Okay.
And if Mahershala wants to stick around, then I mean, he's been on the project long enough. Like, what's a couple more years to him?
If
that's really what he wants. It would be ice cold for them to give him the cold shoulder at this point.
That's true, but it may be a mutual thing where he's like tired of his name being attached to this thing and wants to roll on out of here. Do you know what I'm saying?
There's only so many places to roll on out to, and although I could see him, couldn't you see him in a Star Wars movie? Because
100%.
I could.
Yes.
And there are some actors who you can't, but I actually could, and so that's maybe like does Disney sort of getting Lucasfilm's ear about being like, hey, we've really fucking kind of screwed this guy over the last few years. Maybe you could throw him a bone and something.
So Marvel now only has 3 films hitting theaters in 2025. Captain America 4 in February, Thunderbolts May 2nd, and Fantastic Four on July. I think all of us pretty much felt it was not going to happen in November. So the fact that it's delayed is not a surprise.
I thought that they would move Fantastic Four, but apparently Fantastic Four is going to wrap early.
Oh, wow.
And like Disney is like bullish on it, and it's going to hit that July date. So,
all right, we'll see. We'll keep our tabs on it. Let's move on to our next story here, man. Tom Holland and Christopher Nolan. Tom Holland will star in Christopher Nolan's latest feature, joining Matt Damon in the top secret venture. You were mentioning what the plot might be of this one. Nolan has written the script and is directing the project, which Universal Pictures will distribute. The film is set to release on July 17th of 2026. And Nolan is producing this alongside his producing partner, wife Emma Thomas, and not going back to Warner Brothers, doing it at Universal here, where he won his Oscars. So, do you like Tom Holland making this move? And you wrote about this, Jeff, because you wrote that it will cause a ripple, as I was reading in your newsletter here, for Tom Holland going into 2025, 2026. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, I do think that. Again, we thought, and Denis, I guess, scooped everybody, because Denis was sort of the first person to come out and say, hey, we're probably not going to be starting Dune 3 until the top of 2026.
Right.
And we had always thought that it was going to be in theaters by the end of 2026, which I don't think will be possible if that's when production starts.
Not if it starts at the beginning. No way.
Right. Yeah. So,
that's all I have.
And that was always the question, was like, how is Zendaya going to do 3 huge things? Euphoria, Spider-Man 4, and Dune 3. And that's why I had speculated that she may have to take on a reduced role in Spider-Man 4 or something, but that's clearly not the case.
Yeah.
Right? The way that it's going to go, as I reported in the newsletter, which you should all be subscribed to, is that Tom Holland will do Nolan's movie first at the top of the year.
Yeah.
Then he'll segue into Doomsday, I think. And he'll do his part in Doomsday. And then he'll go do Spider-Man 4. Which is going to be months and months and months, right?
Yeah.
That's why you got to get Doomsday sort of out of the way first, so that Doomsday doesn't have to wait months and months and months for Tom Holland.
Right.
Well,
let's move aside the idea of the juggling of the schedule. Like, do you like this as a next move for Tom Holland? I mean, this to me signals that he is already looking at his life post Spider-Man and wanting to establish himself as a legitimate actor, and being in a Christopher Nolan film is certainly a way to legitimize yourself as an actor, as Robert Downey Jr. found with that Oscar. Of course, everybody respected as an actor already, but certainly Cillian Murphy showing he can lead films like this to a $976 million take. Does this signal that Tom is looking for bigger fish here and awards stuff down the road?
I mean, everybody is looking for bigger fish and awards stuff down the road, right? Like,
I don't think everybody is. I don't think Van Damme ever was, or Stallone, or maybe Stallone, but not Schwarzenegger.
Like Tom Holland is just like a pure action star. Yeah, I think he's like an actor.
Yeah.
He was like clearly thrilled to get the call from Nolan and to work with him.
Mm-hmm.
It'll obviously be great for his career, especially at a time where everyone's like, "Oh, he's just Spider-Man."
Yeah.
I think that can only fuel you as an actor, right?
Yeah, for so long, right? Not that there aren't legitimate emotional acting going on.
No, but you use the criticism. I mean, that you're just right. Spider-Man, and it, then you go and get a role in Nolan's movie, and it's like, well, the best director on the planet right now.
Yeah,
use me. So there you go.
Yeah, I think it's funny. It's another Marvel actor going to Nolan or going in to be a part of a Nolan film and getting a little legitimacy along the way. Although, he had been in The Impossible, he'd been in these smaller films beforehand, but you can argue that everything he's done outside of Spider-Man once he became Spider-Man has not been that good. Cherry wasn't that good. Chaos Walking wasn't a good movie. So
he hasn't had bad projects.
Yeah. So when him and Zendaya are bouncing off the walls reading the Spider-Man 4 script, it doesn't give me a lot of hope.
Fast forward. What is everybody busting my balls for in the chat? What did I say? Fantastic Four. I said Fast Four. You fucking know what I'm talking about. We're on Fast 11. Are you confused?
Are you confused? But he says he's going to start shooting this thing next summer, Spider-Man 4. I mean, he's just been on these podcasts saying how, the script still needs work. There's a long way to go. We like what we got so far. There's a long way to go. And then he's telling Fallon 3 days later, oh, no, we're starting shooting in summer. Everything's set up. We're ready to go. Like, what does this tell you, man?
I mean, it tells me Nolan's movie is the priority, right? You don't even let Spider-Man get in the way of working with Chris Nolan.
Yeah.
And you're just like, yeah, you guys will have to wait. I mean, everything lined up perfectly. Like,
yeah. I think so too.
Yeah.
All right, it's good stuff. Yeah, I want to see Tom in a Christopher Nolan movie. I like to see more of Tom.
Like an episode of Entourage, like. Tom Holland and Zendaya are just like chilling in bed, and they're like, "Guys, what's gonna happen to the movie? The movie could fall apart." 30 minutes later, guys, the movie's good. We're good. Everything's great. Victory.
Ari comes in. I figured it all out.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that fucking show. Anyway, whatever.
I'm told that the young people right now, are discovering Entourage.
Oh, for God's sake, don't.
They're watching it, and they're like, it harkens back to a time they can't believe existed.
That film, I mean, it's incredible. Entourage rode that wave and was so successful, and then the society completely changed. It felt like overnight. Yeah. And that movie came out and tanked like a motherfucker. And people went to go see it and were like, oh, this is icky, actually. Now we realize this actually isn't a cool fucking show at all. But shout out to Jerry Ferrera for calling out Bill Simmons for being such a homer about the Yankees. Hey, Bill, suck it, man. We got to the World Series. Suck it. All right, let's take a quick break here, Jeff, and then we'll jump into some more entertainment stuff here on the other side. And keep sending in your Streamlabs and Super Chats. We will get to them later on in the show for sure. We'll be right back right after this. I have to say, man, I like this change in the pop filter. I like how my voice sounds on this pop filter. I like it better than the Streamline.
Very silky smooth. Are you a Yankees fan?
Put this in between your legs. Yes, I am a Yankees fan. Been a Yankees fan since I was 10 years old, buddy boy.
Wow.
That's right.
Did you just try to do a Howard Stern on our listeners?
Anyway, let's move on. It's my birthday. Let me have some fun. Speaking of having fun, Chris Hemsworth, Prince Charming. Jeff, what are we talking about here? He's in talks to play the iconic fairy tale love interest in Disney's upcoming Prince Charming film. Shout out to whoever created this graphic. It's fantastic. Plot details for the pictures are under wraps. It's not clear yet if the film would be live action or animated. Paul King, who directed Wonka, will direct this one. Simon Farnaby and John Croker are co-writing the screenplay as well. And of course, Hemsworth is going to be starring next in the MGM's Amazon's upcoming thriller Crime 101, which features Halle Berry and Barry Keoghan and Mark Ruffalo. And he's got Extraction 3 coming soon, I imagine. So this reeks of Snow White and the Huntsman. Why are we going back to this? Why are you doing this? Is this Gaston as Prince Charming type thing? Why would you do this? Do you like this? Do you think it's going to happen?
So I wasn't sure what the take would be until so Jordan Rumi shined a little bit of light on what it's supposed to be. I mean, apparently Disney thinks it really has something here with Paul King directing. Obviously, he did Wonka, he did Paddington. These are big, successful,
massive, yeah.
They think that they have like the next Barbie on their hands, and so basically they're gonna
really,
you know, not that they turned, you know, Barbie was obviously a very clever examination, but like. I think he said that Hemsworth would be playing Prince Charming as a bumbling idiot.
Yeah, well, of course. That makes all the sense in the world.
Right. And so I think, you know, maybe it'll deconstruct, you know, that kind of stuff, the fairy tale through that lens or whatever.
Right.
You know, I think he's actually good casting. And also, like, who are you expecting to get, right? Like, Chris Hemsworth is the kind of guy who will say yes to this. You're not going to get Ryan Gosling to play Prince Charming.
I don't know. After
Timothy Chalamet.
After the Fall Guy, I don't think Gosling should be saying no to too much. But Hemsworth is 41, Jeff. That's not a Prince Charming. That's he's a little old there to be a Prince Charming, don't you think? I feel like it should be a little bit younger.
I mean, maybe, but like if I told you Chris Hemsworth was 35 to 37,
yeah,
what are you gonna not believe? Like, you know, like he obviously looks great.
Yes, he does.
He's only like 41.
That's what I just said.
And and there aren't any real stars like in their 20s. Right? You need like a star. Prince Charming is not like, hey, we can cast anybody in this role, like the Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
Right. And the people are going to come see it because it's the Little Mermaid.
Right.
You need a star for Prince Charming movie, like they did with Maleficent.
Yeah.
And there's only so many stars who would say yes to something like this.
Or what, Enchanted with Amy Adams? You want a star. I hear what you're saying. Okay.
Maybe Adams has never been like a big box office draw.
Who? Amy Adams?
Yeah.
Neither is Hemsworth outside of the Marvel universe.
No.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. He's important to Disney because of that.
Yeah. I think, I don't know. I think he needs to stay away from stuff like this, man. Just go in, I don't know, go do smaller shit for a little bit. You've got enough money. Go and do smaller stuff, then swing back to stuff like this. But maybe the script is really funny. Maybe the concept is really funny. And as you said, working with that director, Paul King, I mean, there's possibilities here where there can be some sweetness combined with some stakes. Because, I mean, Paul King doesn't make funny, dark comedies, right? He makes like these kind of family, wholesome comedies.
I think people want to work with him.
Yeah, clearly.
And so you can't blame Hemsworth for that. The other thing, and I don't want to sound, you know, dark or morbid or ghoulish, but like it does seem like Chris has been taking on a lot of projects since, you know, news of certain diagnosis, surfaced.
Certainly.
You know, maybe you just feel that pressure where it's like, hey, I got to get the bag while I can, you know, for my family. He's
got kids. He's got a beautiful wife, Elsa Pataki.
I don't know what it's like to live with that sword over my head. So
sure, certainly. I follow him on. I signed up for his thing, and so on Instagram, he sends you messages of his workouts. You lists the workout. He does the workout in terms of for you. And
I've been doing the Chris Hemsworth workout.
Are you sure you're doing the?
Yeah, you do 10 jelly beans a day.
There you go. If they're not Brock's, they're not real jelly beans. Let me tell you. All right, let's move on. Well, we'll see what happens. Obviously, with Christmas, Prince Charming. So we'll see how that plays out. But let's move on this, Jeff. We talked about this 7 months ago. We went back into our archives of the Hot Mic, And we talked about this because Deadline had originally broken this story for Beef Season 2, saying that it was going to be Jake Gyllenhaal and Anne Hathaway with Charles Melton and Cailee Spaeny. But now the new story is, now that's officially moving forward, Season 2 of Beef, this great series, if you guys didn't watch it, with Stephen Yeun and Ali Wong. And now Oscar Isaac and Carey Mulligan are in the place of Anne Hathaway and Jake Gyllenhaal, joining Charles Melton and Cailee Spaeny. Do you like this foursome for a Beef Season 2? The logline is: a young couple witnesses an alarming fight between their boss and his wife, triggering chess moves of favors and coercion in the elitist world of a country club and its Korean billionaire owner. Jeff, your thoughts on it?
Yes, love it. Love everything about it. And I'm pretty sure that, I expect at least that Yoon Jun-yoon is going to play that Korean billionaire owner.
Ooh.
So a female billionaire.
Okay.
I love the idea of Carey Mulligan and Oscar Isaac getting back together.
Yes.
After what movie? 2 movies, I believe. Actually.
Oh yeah. Inside Llewyn Davis. And I don't know the other one.
Do you know the name Standard Gabrielle? Does that mean anything to you?
No, I don't. What is it?
Oh,
Drive. Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. She's his boyfriend, his abusive boyfriend. That's right. Her abusive boyfriend. God, I just watched that film the other day again, too. That elevator fight scene.
He wasn't abusive.
He was, she was putting her in danger. He was putting her in danger, I guess I would say. Working. It wasn't like he was like a mechanic who got caught off with the wrong crowd.
He didn't slap her around.
You put your family in danger. You're not that far away from abusive. Let me just say that. Go ahead. Yes.
Anyways, yeah. So where's the deluxe version?
We're not here to argue Drive. For God's
a great line, Morgan Chan. Thank you.
That elevator fight scene, that and the Captain America are the 2 best elevator fight scenes I may have ever seen.
I wish someone would kiss me like that.
What is this? Beat me, slap me, piss on me. Try it out. There you go.
What? Do you have my bedroom bugged, Susan? Jesus.
Anyway, focus on the story. So yeah, I like it too. Oscar Isaac and Carey. Do you like it? Do you think this?
Yeah. I do like the story.
Okay.
And the idea of blackmailing your boss.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
I liked it, and I also liked that it. You know what? We didn't go with an all-white cast. I like the balance here with Oscar Isaac, with Charles Melton. You got Carey, you got Cailee.
And Carey Mulligan can play Latina, obviously, after Maestro. So there you go.
She got a pass because she was so good in that movie. In my opinion, I gave her a pass at least. But what do you think about this for Cailee Spaeny? I think this is an interesting choice. Coming out of Priscilla, coming out of Civil War, coming out of what else was she? Oh yeah, Alien Romulus. It just came out. Does it make sense to go and do a Netflix series? I feel like you should do more movies, then kind of swing around back to Netflix. I understand it for Melton because he's still starting out. Netflix was made December, made his name. Oscar Isaac, Carey, they're already household names. Cailee's getting there, so this seems like an odd detour for where she's going in her career. Do you like this?
Peanut butter anytime. Peanut butter anytime. Yeah.
You do.
She wants an Emmy. She's proven herself. She's been in box office hits like Civil War and Alien, and she's done acclaimed indies like Priscilla.
Yes.
And now it's time to go for the gold.
Right. If you say so. All right. I don't like it. I think she should stay where she's going because people are really getting to know her, but this is my opinion.
I think it's tougher. I think it's tough for her. Tougher than you think.
Yeah, maybe you're right because everyone's talking about her,
but she's so little.
What the fuck does that got to do with anything?
What do you mean? An actor's physical stature obviously plays into something.
For men, it does. Not to
cast her. I think it's tough to cast her because she looks so young.
Right? That's a different conversation. The look that she's young, okay, small, tall, medium, whatever.
She's tiny and she looks young. Yeah, it even adds to her looking really young. And I think it's tough to put her up against, in certain positions up against somebody.
You mean like Elliot Page, the former Ellen Page? That kind of look. You know, she was kind of young looking. When she was young and wayfish, so to speak, and it's kind of smaller. But you know, they were still able to nab great roles.
Is she competing with the Daisy Edgar Joneses of the world? Because like I can't picture Cailee Spaeny up against Glenn Powell on a Twisters poster.
That's a good point. I don't know.
I know it is. I mean, these are things that people don't think about, but they're legitimate. I think this is the right move for her.
Someone said I'd like to see her standing next to Elizabeth Debicki. Oof. Yeah. All right, let's move on to this other story here. Jeff, these are the Gladiator II first reactions. I know you hate when I do this, but we have to cover the news. So your thoughts on a friend of the show, Drew Taylor.
Everybody loved it.
Said bold, muscular filmmaking from a legendary talent. Simon Thompson said it dovetails stylishly with the original. Matt Brennan gave Gladiator 2 apes, sharks, syphilitic emperors. Gladiator 2 with some absolute sicko shit. And Denzel Washington is relishing every single minute. The We Are So Back of bloody costume epics. So yeah, pretty much strong feelings overall. Eric Anderson wrote that Paul Mescal is a great action star. Clayton Davis said Mescal's performance is one of the film's honest surprises. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. So it seemed pretty positive, Jeff. Does this excite you anymore for seeing Gladiator 2? Because it wasn't your normal run-of-the-mill influencer reactions. These are legitimate people's opinions who you know and respect.
None of these people. No, I'm sorry. I can't. I'm
Drew Taylor doesn't move the needle for you. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Friend of the show, Drew Taylor.
I love Drew Taylor. I mean,
yeah, we do. Yes.
It has nothing to do with anything. I just these people are notoriously positive about everything.
But you usually shit on these first reactions because you think that the studio has carefully curated certain people to show up.
They have. Why do these people?
Okay.
Why do you think they're being invited to these things?
I've seen Drew write cantankerous takedowns of movies.
We all have, but
yeah.
Listen.
All right.
I'll take the entire press corps, and that's anyone who falls in it with a grain of salt. Like the awards people that you have to find something. I'm sure it's a good movie. Heard it's a good movie.
Yes.
But like nobody had anything negative to say. I mean, like, John, think about this. It is impossible to get 100 people on the planet to agree on anything except if they are film critics seeing a movie early. This is a true fact statement.
Okay.
Right? Like, all of a sudden, 100 people are in complete agreement. It's magical.
Maybe they are, though. I don't know. I'm throwing it out there. Maybe they are.
I think that the people, if they all are, right?
Yeah.
It's because all the people who have negative opinions are trained to hold their tongue.
So you're buying into the fan thing that critics are being essentially
conspiracy theorist, JFK down the rabbit hole whenever it comes to anything in our profession. Yes. I'm not an actual like conspiracy theorist or any of that, but like when it comes to the entertainment press, yes, I am.
Wow. I can't go that far. I know there are certain people who do that and try to speak positively about every movie and only go after certain movies when it's safe to go after certain movies. But I think most of the people give their honest opinions. I'm kind of surprised to hear you say that. But all right. You're right to say these things.
But okay, like that's the thing. Everyone's like, well, this is my honest opinion. This is my honest opinion. Yeah. Okay, well then you have bad taste. What do you want me to say? Well, if you like 94%,
you just don't agree with their taste. Why do you say bad taste? You just don't agree with their taste.
Well, right? I mean, if you were to look at my blog spot, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I probably like 60% of the movies that I see in any given year. Okay. Why is it that other critics love 90% of the movies that they see? Do they not seek out bad movies? Do they just like more movies than me naturally? Like what? Yeah. Why is the percentage so skewed? Or do these people just like everything?
It's a fair point. I don't go see bad movies. So that's where I'm guilty. I don't go see bad movies. If I hear bad reviews, I don't go see a movie. I wait for it to come out.
How many movies do you see a year, though?
I used to see a lot.
What's a lot?
I don't see as I'm 200 to 300. I used to see it.
There's no way you're seeing 200 to 300.
Bro, I don't have kids, and I have a very understanding girlfriend. In days past, I used to watch 200 to 300 films.
I feel like I'm seeing 200 movies a year pretty consistently, and you're not seeing nearly as many new movies as I am.
You don't watch as many sports documentaries as I do, nature documentaries as I do, Nat Geo. Those are all theatrical release films. Those are all films, buddy boy. And so you don't watch musicals. There's a lot of things you don't watch that I watch. And so
there's no question about that.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
I'm saying when I look at our peers and see how many movies most of them have seen in a given year, it's typically like half as many.
That's fair. Yeah. But you know this, working at an outlet, sometimes you're not allowed to go see. Well, not that you're not
assigned things. Yeah, I'm not. It's not a contest of I see more movies than you or whatever. Right. It's just a matter of the percentage of likes to dislike. I don't know if they're curating this,
Yeah.
But yeah, they like 90% of the movies that they see.
See, this is interesting. Dave said, look up early reviews for a bad movie. I bet they're positive. Joker 2 wasn't positive. There are a lot of bad movies that initially come out.
That's the International Press Corps. That's out of Venice. So like, if that had been reviewed out of like the regular early bird LA screeners, like I'm sure it would have been hailed as a fucking masterpiece.
You came out and said you didn't like Flash at the film CinemaCon, right? But you weren't alone. There were a few people who didn't like it as well. So
a few people, right? A few brave souls among the many. And now look at everyone's just like, oh yeah, that movie sucks. But at the time, all the early bird people fucking were like, this is the greatest.
I know, but look, Venom 3 is about to come out in a couple of days, and the first one made $875 million. So
that's another movie where everyone's just fucking making excuses for this movie.
The movie's terrible.
I mean, I haven't seen it yet. I wasn't invited to see it, but people are like, oh well, it's the best of the three Venom movies. Okay, so we're just going to ignore the thousands of other movies. Let's just talk about in a vacuum. All of a sudden, compared to two other movies, this movie's great, and so it becomes Venom 3 is great. What?
I agree with you in that respect. I think I saw some of those reviews for the movie, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, are you trying to keep your jobs? Are you trying to keep your followers? Like, I just don't get it. Like, I don't get that kind of. It's the thing when I look at like 100,000 subscribers for YouTube, and then you get the sponsors, right? But the hidden part of getting the sponsors is that you better come up with content that makes this many views or hits this many views, or those sponsors are going to go away. So then you're stressed out about like, well, what should I talk about? What should I not talk about? And you're back in the same situation you were at in an outlet where they tell you what you can cover and what you can't cover, and they decide. And that's I can't have that. And so when I see reviewers or critics do that kind of stuff, it frustrates the piss out of me because I'm like, you didn't like the movie. It's a terrible fucking movie. Just say it's terrible.
Everybody is writing for traffic these days and algorithms, and like it's fucking like it's just nuts. And hoping to get chosen to write the book or do the moderate the screening or whatever it is. And they curtail their whole behavior around this.
I don't do that. We don't do that. And I guess that's why we don't get those opportunities. But I also don't go looking for those opportunities. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I have never called a publicist and been like, hey, can I do Q&A for your movie? It's just not my jam. Not that I wouldn't. I'm knocking it out of the park. I know I'm knocking it out of the park. I'm an intelligent guy. I can write questions. I have good conversational skills. I just don't seek it. And I like to be able to talk about the fuck I want to talk about, And so, I don't get to 100, 200,000 subscribers overnight.
Moderating screens is a different thing because you're being hired to do a job. I'm not there to be Jeff the journalist and grill these fucking people like, oh, I've got you on the hot seat now in front of an audience. You're there to lob softballs, right? And ask them the questions that they want to answer. Like, well,
not so much.
It's a gig.
Yeah. It's more engaging conversation, not so much softballs, but engagement about the making of the movie and what. You're not going to review the movie with them sitting there. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to some other story. Let's move on to something Jeff thinks shouldn't be made, but we're going to do it anyway. Going on his Frank Sinatra commentary. This is news. Colman Domingo is set to make his feature directorial debut with a film called Scandalous, which is a period drama about the 1950s romance between movie star Kim Novak, who is still alive, and singer Sammy Davis Jr., and the bigoted scrutiny that the pair faced once their relationship came to light. Sydney Sweeney is set to play Kim Novak, and David Jonsson is set to play Sammy Davis Jr. They're in talks to play these two characters. Miramax is working, ironically, to fast track the project, which is in early stages of development. Jeff, you hated the idea of doing these old school 1950s characters from the Rat Pack movies. So what's your thoughts on this? Colman Domingo building up his name, now going into directing here.
I think this is an interesting, provocative story.
Okay.
Right? That and the kind of thing that would still turn heads today, right?
Yes. Interracial marriages.
Unfortunately, right?
Yeah, sadly so.
And with Sydney Sweeney, you couldn't ask for like a bigger, better star right now.
Yes.
Like, we'll see if this actually comes to fruition. Like, obviously, when Coleman's like, "Oh, I'm going to do my directorial debut. It's going to be me as Nat King Cole," I was like, good luck with that. And now he's pivoted because, well, okay, I've got Sydney Sweeney instead of myself starring. That's a different thing.
Yeah, right, exactly. But this is an interesting story, and I like that Colman, who is an interesting cat, an intelligent cat about these kinds of things, is covering it. Just to give you a little bit of background for some of you who may be way too young to know about Sammy Davis Jr. and Kim Novak, this was a thing that followed Sammy in a number of places because he did have interracial romances a number of times in his life. The legendary one where he was banned from Jack Kennedy's inauguration because he was dating a white woman at the time.
Who hasn't had a good interracial romance?
Yeah, fair point. Novak and Davis first connected on the Steve Allen Show in 1956. They continued to meet while Davis making visits to the set of Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo, maybe his greatest film ever for Alfred Hitchcock. They met at a Thanksgiving ball. Harry Cohn voiced unease about their relationship. He was the head of Columbia Pictures at the time, but then a Chicago columnist exposed them in 1958 where they were keeping it discreet. And Novak had to deny the relationship, and then Davis quickly married a black chorus singer, Lori White, which a lot of people felt was just to kind of provide cover for the situation. So Kim Novak is still alive. She's 91 now. Obviously, Sammy passed away from cancer in 1990 at the age of 64. So the idea of interracial stuff relationships is a big deal right now. I don't want to get too political, but certainly we've heard political leaders recently say that interracial marriages should be left to the states to say whether they're legal or not, which is fucking insane that we're walking backwards decades in this country. I personally have two black friends who married white women, and I was at their weddings. In one of the weddings, the father refused to show up. The white father refused to show up. And in the other one, the father gave a toast to his white daughter and didn't mention her black groom to be at all in the entire thing. And needless to say, both of those marriages endured, but the white girl's parents, both of them got divorced in those two situations. So racism is an ugly thing. So I like that Colman Domingo, a guy of intelligence and real breadth about the subject, is tackling this because I think it could be really interesting. Plus, David Jonsson, clearly, Jeff, this is an actor that a lot of people are watching. And I think the Alien Romulus performance only underscored how great of an actor he really is,
I completely agree. Like, he's coming on strong after Industry. He's got that Stephen King adaptation, The Long Walk, with Cooper Hoffman. I think he's going places.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love this idea. I wonder if Kim Novak will be involved as an advisor on the set. We will see. All right, let's move on to another story here, Jeff. Tom Cruise and Alejandro Iñarritu. Their film is due to start shooting in the UK. Variety speculating that it is yet to be confirmed, but it could be as early as next month. And the untitled project would be Iñarritu's first English language film since The Revenant. It's being produced by him with a script he co-wrote in 2023 with Birdman co-writers Nicholas Giacobone and Alexander de Lalaris, along with Sabine Berman. Plot details on the wraps. Sandra Huller, John Goodman, Michael Stuhlbarg, Jesse Plemons, and Sophie Wilde are all co-starring in this. And this is Cruise's first film since signing a deal to develop and produce theatrical films with Warner Brothers Discovery. So your thoughts on this? They're already starting to shoot. What does this tell you? Do you think this is actually true? And what do you expect from this movie?
Do you know what this is rumored to be about?
No, I don't. I don't try to deal in rumors.
Oh, it's rumored to be like a behind enemy lines kind of situation.
Oh, really? That he's what, like a prisoner of war, and
he's like a soldier, and like his entire like unit gets wiped out, and it's just like him less like sort of fight his way back home. Maybe, I mean that's just the rumor. I don't know.
Going back to like Born on the 4th of July days. Interesting.
He was born on the 3rd of July.
Hey-o. Do you like this for Cruise and Iñarritu? Do you like this combo? It's an interesting combo.
Yes, and I think that you'll be able to see this one. Let me think, like Christmas, maybe 2020. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
If they start shooting next month, a year.
Yeah, Christmas 2025. That makes sense.
But do you think Tom Cruise would do a Christmas film? Do you think Tom Cruise would be like, no?
I feel like Last Samurai was maybe a December release. No.
Oh, I don't remember. Maybe.
Let's Scott Man. I'm gonna Scott Mance that shit.
I went to see it with David Harris in Philadelphia.
December 1st, 2003. So I got it by the day. How do you like that?
Got it. I like that movie too, by the way. I like this idea for Cruise, man. This is Cruise trying to get that get that Oscar. Just one time, put that thing on the mantle. I think that's the capper, right? After this, he can just go retire and run a movie studio.
I definitely think he's hoping for the DiCaprio and Revenant treatment.
Yeah, right. Everyone was like, come on, we got to give it to him. Right? I like this idea. I love him being a part of this. Anything more to say on this? Can we move on?
Move on.
Okay. How about this situation? Jeff, what are your thoughts on this? You're a horror guy. Let's bring this up. There's a Carrie TV series from Mike Flanagan in the works at Amazon. Do you like this? The series logline describes it as a bold and timely reimagining of the story of misfit high schooler Carrie White, who has spent her life in seclusion with a dominating mother. After her father's sudden death and untimely death, Carrie finds herself contending with the alien landscape of public high school, a bullying scandal that shatters her community, and the emergence of mysterious telekinetic powers. I mean, Flanagan certainly on a run with a number of series and films. Apparently, a 3-hour cut of Dr. Sleep is back out for people to watch. Your thoughts on him taking on a series here for Carrie? Does this excite you now?
No.
What? Why?
This has been done to death.
Carrie, you mean the Carrie story?
Yes. I need a complete and total reinvention, which I'm hoping that Mike Flanagan is planning, because otherwise I don't really know why he's wasting his time. I mean, I don't know if he goes the trans route.
Oh, fuck me. Oh, I like that idea. Jesus.
How's that for a locker room scene?
I like, yeah. Oh my God, I love it.
You got to find someone willing to go there. I actually think Hunter Schafer from Euphoria would be pretty interesting.
Although she said she doesn't want to play trans roles anymore.
I know.
Or doesn't only want to play trans roles.
I know.
Which sucks. Could be interesting.
But anyways, you got to do something to differentiate it, because I've seen it too many times.
All right. So who plays her mom? Is it Rebecca Ferguson or is it Carla Gugino? Flanagan Staples. Where will you go on this?
Hold on. Who, Gugino and who?
Rebecca Ferguson. I mean, it's a series, so you think Gugino, but Rebecca might want to work with Mike Flanagan again.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you gotta get a bigger star, to be honest.
Really? To play the mom?
Yeah.
Then again, Piper Laurie played the original, and she was a big star in the 50s.
Especially if you have a young actress who's 18, 19 or whatever for Carrie, right? So I think you need a star for the mom, and that's why I'm going to go with one of two people.
Okay, bring it on.
The stars of Mother's Instinct, which I still have not seen.
Mother's Instinct. Okay.
That is Jessica Chastain, Oscar winner.
Ooh.
And fellow Oscar winner Anne Hathaway.
No, don't give me Hathaway. Ugh,
I think Hathaway would crush that role. Ugh. Oh, and here's the other way to do it, which I put in the newsletter, John. I don't know how close you read it.
Oh.
What if instead of being a religious fanatic,
yes,
mom's a Trumper?
Ooh. That could be super interesting. Super interesting. Fuck me. Right. And then her daughter is showing these powers, and she's trying to hide her away and trans. Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, I love that idea. Let's go. Bold. Let's go bold. I'm in. I would see that.
I do something different.
I would see in a heartbeat. I love that All right, let's take a break. By the way, we're at 535 of you watching us right now. Thank you so much for joining us live on this Wednesday. We had to adjust the time. It is my birthday, but I, you know, if you say hot mic, I love doing the hot mic with this man, so I adjust my time to hang out. My Olive Garden dinner meal can wait because I want to have this fun conversation with my friend Jeff Sneider. But send in your Streamlabs and Super Chats. We will be reading them very, very soon. Got a couple more topics to hit, but then we're going to roll into those things. So if you want to hear our you want to hear our thoughts on any of your questions, thoughts, or comments, send them into the Streamlabs, send them in as Super Chats, and we will answer them here on the show. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back right after this. All right, Jeff, a couple of trailers dropped this week. Got to get your thoughts. Don't know if you've seen them, but the Brutalist trailer dropped just a few days ago. Only a minute and 15 seconds, but certainly a trailer that teased the VistaVision that this film was shot in and the scope of this movie, along with really focusing on Adrien Brody, not so much on Felicity Jones, but certainly Adrien Brody being a part of this trailer. What did you think? Did you think this was the right kind of trailer for A24 to release to promote the Brutalist, and what are your feelings about it?
I thought it was pretty great.
Yeah?
I think the movie's pretty great.
You've seen it?
Yeah.
Oh, you bastard.
Yeah, I saw it at TIFF.
So
I thought it was pretty fantastic. I don't love the giant bee.
Oh.
In the Brutalist. I don't love what's going on design-wise. I didn't like the poster very much.
Yeah.
But the feeling, like the score is so good and the cinematography is so good, right? Like it's a real showcase for both those things. I think it gives you an idea of how great Brody is. Felicity's only in half the movie, so I'm not surprised she's in just a couple shots of this trailer. Yeah, like, you know, the monumental even is like a great word to describe it. It was a great teaser.
I've seen the reports saying that, like, the first half of the movie is excellent and the second half doesn't quite hold up as strong, but it's still pretty good. Would you agree with that, or do you think they're equally excellent, both parts of the movie?
I think that the first half of the movie is incredible.
Okay.
And I think that you're expecting the second half of the movie to be even more incredible, right? You're like, wow, this is going to be like such a great, and it's not quite that. It's like I don't want to call it a letdown, but yeah, it's not quite maybe as good as the first half.
So you're saying you have incredible sex, and then you go, you know what, let's do it again. And you're still satisfied.
Right. You can't get quite as hard.
Satisfied.
You can't get quite as hard.
Speak for yourself. All right. Well, this one is coming out November, very soon. I'm waiting for my screening for this one because I want to see this one so fucking bad. But another trailer came out, Jeff, completely different approach. I don't know if you saw this one, but did you see Love Hurts? This trailer with Ke Huy Quan essentially getting the 87 North treatment, like Bob Odenkirk did in Nobody, like David Harbour did in Violent Nights, like Charlize Theron in Atomic Blonde, and other type of films where these kind of mild-mannered people become these. We find out there's more going on there with him and Ariana DeBose. Did you like the trailer? I thought it was fun.
Yeah, I think that he sells it, right? You just got to have the right guy to sell this setup. Like Bob Odenkirk was the right guy for Nobody.
Yes.
You need a really likable personality to play this guy Marvin, and I think Ke Huy Quan's charisma really leaps off the screen in this trailer.
Yeah. I thought so too. I was really surprised at how much I enjoyed this. I do like the 87 North stuff. I don't know if I've seen an 87 North movie that I don't like. So I like when they kind of explore this, and they seem to find the right people, as you said, Jeff, the right actors to play these roles that leads to box office success to a degree. You know what I'm saying? And so they clearly have the formula. And I think, as I said in my trailer reaction, I think this is the evolution of the Van Damme, Steven Seagal, Schwarzenegger, Stallone films of the 80s, these kind of films that are these action set pieces where it's one guy handling everything. And so it has the bones of that, but it's evolved for 2024. So they're casting people that don't look like Van Damme, don't look like Stallone, don't look like Schwarzenegger to essentially play these roles because we're much more accepting of the everyman.
They're more relatable. Yeah, exactly.
More relatable. Yeah,
that could be us up there. Yes.
Right. Yeah. I like that formula. It's a smart formula.
It's like, yeah, you stick John Cena in that movie. It's like, yeah, what else is John Cena going to do?
Right.
He's going to kick a lot of ass. That's what he does.
Exactly. All right, well, let's move on to some reviews real quick. We both got to see Conclave. I saw it yesterday afternoon. You saw it recently as well. Ray Fiennes, Isabella Rossellini, Stanley Tucci, John Lithgow, some fantastic other British actors and Italian actors in this as well. A murder mystery in the Vatican, so to speak. What are your thoughts on this movie? Do you recommend this movie? Do you like this movie? What can you say?
I liked it, but I didn't love it.
Oh, wow. A lot of people think it's the Best Picture nominee. And
I think it's going to be nominated, but I don't think it's going to win.
Okay.
I think it's just a little too out there and just not as satisfying as I thought it would be.
The twist is, I thought I'd figured out the twist, and then the real twist happened, and I was like, damn.
Let's not say anymore.
Yeah.
But it. I'd give it like a B, and like a B plus at best. Like, I don't think this is an A grade movie.
All right, I gave it an A minus. I loved it. I like these slow moving conversational films. And as a guy who grew up Catholic, I mean, this kind of shit's in my wheelhouse as well. The idea of the Vatican, the conclave, a guy who was a big Pope fan, Pope Francis.
Big Pope fan. I had all the Pope trading cards. I had a Pope lunchbox.
Huge. I bought Pope NFTs. I had Pope crypto. Come on, I was all in on the Pope.
I owned Pope coin back in the day.
Pope John Paul II coins. I loved them.
Do you think that he's going to win Best Actor?
I don't know because I haven't seen Brutalist. If I see Brutalist, and I think more Adrian than yes, but right now I think he is the odds-on favorite. I don't think I've seen a performance this year that rivals what he did in that movie. In the quiet moment, like he hit the beats that Oscar voters look for, right? These moments, quiet moments, solo moments where the emotion comes out, the back and forth with Lithgow, with Tucci in certain moments. He plays these really, really well. And so, yeah, I would say for me, he's the odds-on favorite. But again, I haven't seen The Brutalist. What about you?
I thought he was really good, but I don't think it even compares to what Brody's doing in The Brutalist. I just don't know if they're going to give him a second Oscar.
Both of them, right? His Fiennes won an He won an Oscar, right? For Schindler's List. Oh, I thought he won for Schindler's List.
Never won.
What? Then he might get it. Then again, I mean, what the subject matter of The Brutalist is, that could appeal to, the immigrant experience, the Jewish experience, coming to America, fighting to create this stuff, an epic scope.
Right.
I mean, that could really work in Brody's favor. So we'll see. All right. And you didn't get to see Venom. So I'll say save your money, but go if you want to go. It's not that great of a movie. Plot holes you could throw a planet through. New characters that get absolutely no backstory beyond cursory TV movie type backstory. Tom Hardy is the reason to see this movie, but Rhys Ifans steals every scene he's in. Every single scene he's in. They criminally underuse Alana Ubach. And Juno and Chiwetel are in the movie and they're fine.
Is Ifans like the lizard?
Hey, I can't reveal that. That's a spoiler. People got to go and see the movie and find out. All I can tell you is that him and Tom Hardy have a lot of scenes together. And so, but there are funny moments. And the last 15 minutes, the battle scene is fantastic. That's, I mean, if you were to walk in late to this one, you can catch up quick and just watch the final battle, So I'm not advocating this, but if you're sneaking over from another movie, that's the way to look at it. All right. That's what I have to say with that. Anything more to say? Anything you want to review, Jeff? Anything you want to recommend to people that you watched this week? Woman of the Hour. Did you see this one? Is it recommended?
I did watch Woman of the Hour again. It's fantastic.
Okay.
I just think that Daniel Zavato is amazing as Ronnie Alcala.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Alcala.
Anything else?
I continue to be very impressed by Mr. Josh Rivera.
Oh, in Aaron Hernandez I agree.
I watched that this morning, And I'll tell you, I think I'm going to write this too eventually. I'll let you guys. I'm just going to spoil all my columns now. If they're still trying to make that Scarface movie, I think he would be pretty fucking good as Scarface.
He's a great choice.
He can act. He's good.
Yeah, I agree, brother. I agree.
They struggled to cast that fucking Scarface movie when, even when it was going to get made with Luca. Luca was going to do Scarface at one point.
Yeah.
And it was like, as a reporter, I was like, who the fuck are they going to cast in this?
That's a great suggestion.
Someone's finally come along who could be good.
Yeah, I agree. Week by week, he's like, the crazier they take that story, he is right. And he's making you care about him, which is a really tough thing to do with a story on this guy. He's playing the tender moments you understand and frustrating moments when you're watching it. So, yeah.
You'd have to do something different. You couldn't just play Scarface as Aaron Hernandez.
Right.
You'd have to,
but clearly, he can probably do it, which is what you're excited about for sure. All right, there we go. Is there anything I'm watching?
I watched The Penguin. The Penguin's great.
Are you enjoying The Penguin? What do you think about
the problem is, with some of these shows is they give you the screeners months ahead or weeks ahead, and then it's like people are like, what are you watching? Like, I'm not even thinking of that because I finished it 2 months ago. I already finished Cross. I think I can write for about Cross for a month.
Oh, that's right.
It's like, what is the point of even? Yeah, I don't know.
Can you give us a face one way or another about Cross? Yeah, that excites me. All right, I'll put it on.
Those are all the Cross books up there.
Yeah. Now, Bad Sisters 2, I got those screeners for season 2. I got to watch that as well. What do you think? Penguin, real quick. Penguin season 2. Do we need a season 2? Are you excited that they're maybe considering it because the ratings are so high, or do you think it should be a one and done?
I think that there is going to be a season 2.
There you go. All right, you heard it from Jeff first. Blame him. All right, let's move on. Let's do some Streamlabs and Super Chats here, Jeff. Derek Jonsson. Oh, my God. Thank you, Derek. Happy birthday, John. I always enjoy the show, guys. Your content is always amazing and fun. Thank you, Derek.
Thank you,
Some
Derek.
more birthday and show support.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, so kind, Derek. Ewok says, thoughts on Peter Stauffen confirming that he's writing the George Harrison film and that each Beatles film will have different writers, all firewalled from each other. Also, any updates on casting? Yeah, Jeff, you had an update, I think, on casting with George Harrison. What are your thoughts on this idea here?
Right, I wrote George Hamilton. Right.
I wasn't going to bring it up.
Yeah, no. I mean, that makes sense because I was like, how are Sam and Christy going to do write all four movies?
Right.
So I think it's an interesting idea. It's having it be about certain events, and you're going to get four different, completely different takes from four different perspectives on those events. Yeah, that's a clever way into it. Again, I don't know what the release plan is, other than he said they were planning to do them all at once.
Yeah. That's an interesting situation. Like, make them all at once or release them all at once?
Release them all at once.
What?
I mean, I don't fucking know. I don't know how you do it.
Beatles week, I guess.
Do you think if they're on a set, John, he shoots the same scene from four different times from four different perspectives?
Right. That's the question. And who writes those scenes? Who writes if you've got different writers for each of the movies, who writes the scenes when all four of them come together? Who's writing the scenes when it's one with another character? Who's writing those scenes?
No, I'm saying, I think you have four different scripts, right? And they're all take place on that set. And it's like, all right, we're going to shoot the John script now, and then we're going to shoot the Paul script now, and all the camera setups change. And Jesus Christ, I don't know. I have no idea, but it's a very ambitious, interesting idea.
I agree. Very ambitious. Wiley UFC says, happy birthday, Rocha. You're the best. Thank you, Wiley. Appreciate it, brother. Always good to see you in here. Mike K says, what are the chances that Mahershala Ali walks away from Blade, or is he the only reason why the project isn't dead altogether? Ooh, I hadn't thought of it that way. He might be the reason keeping it alive. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I don't think if they want to let a piece of talent like that walk out the door, but what are the chances that he walks away from Blade? I think he would have walked away already at this point. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like you're in it for the long haul, unless, like I said, Star Wars comes along, or like an undeniable role at DC.
Right. And they must be paying him, right, Jeff, to hold on. I mean, they're just re-upping him, basically, right? Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's how close they've actually gotten to production, and like if they have to like pay him for that time because he couldn't take another gig, right?
Exactly.
He had to block off. So yeah, I don't know.
Derek Johnson is going to be controversial here and say, I think Mahershala Ali is the reason the project kept being dead on its feet. He wanted Blade to be like Black Panther for black people. It was never going to happen. Well, that's if you believe some of the reports. That was never confirmed that he wanted it to be Black Panther. I don't know if Jeff knows information.
I don't know if that's what he wanted, but he definitely had issues with the script. Like, do I think he's part of the delay? Yeah, I think Marvel may have been happy at one point with the script, and he was not.
Right.
So it was like back to the drawing board. And that's the thing. It's tough getting everybody on the same page.
Yeah.
And at some point, they're like, oh, shit, well, we got to choose one direction or the other because we have a release date to make. Yeah. Now, in this case, and to their credit, they didn't go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
But they may have to at some point.
Right. Yeah. Very good point. Dennis Hoffman says, Holland leading a Nolan movie wasn't on my bingo card, has been great as Spidey, but Cherry was woof, and he was not good in it. Hopefully he pops here. Well, we don't know if he's leading it, right? He's joining Matt Damon. It could be Matt Damon who's the lead. Or Jeff, do you think he's the lead, Tom Holland?
Do I think Tom Holland is the lead of Nolan's movie?
Yeah. Or is it Matt Damon?
No, I think it's Matt Damon.
I think so too. Oof, I'll put this up real quick. Susan, following up on her comment there. There we go. All right. Lucky BX says, hi guys, how about Alan Ritchson in an American Psycho reboot? No, you'd expect that because he's such a big guy. You would expect that. I don't think that's breaking any kind of ground. What do you think, Jeff? Are you good? You need to go?
No. I'm just getting a text.
Okay. Tell her to wait.
How about
the show? Go ahead.
I think he would be interesting. I think he'd be interesting. I don't know if he's too big though.
Yeah. Here's what I'll say.
It's not the way I want to see it go.
I hear he's being eyed for something else from what my sources are telling me. And it might be in the comic book world, but it's not what you're thinking. So I'm just going to leave it at that. That's what I've heard from my source, is that it's going to be something, and I don't know when they're going to announce that, but just know that you heard it here first. A Sewell says, I've been reading a lot about productions in LA lately, hearing Sony CEO's comments about productions moving overseas. I'm not sure if increasing tax incentives in California will fix things. Is Survive till 25 a red herring? Yeah, Jeff, I sent you we ran out of time, but certainly we can talk about it real quick. There's a Hollywood Reporter article detailing all the issues going on with these productions in LA and how the numbers have gone down and that productions are going up in other areas of the country, including New York and across the sea, UK, Australia, what have you, and that LA is suffering, and that there's even calls about limiting the amount of money certain crew members are making in order to be able to keep costs down and keep productions in LA. What do you take away from that article? What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, there is some truth to it, but I also think some of it's bullshit. Like a lot of it's just like laying the blame on the contract that these people negotiated for themselves when they're just trying to earn a living wage, But I think that sadly production was leaving anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, shit is expensive in California. A cup of coffee is expensive in California. Yeah. When my brother came out here last week and saw the fucking gas prices, he's like, that's crazy. Yeah. And that's every gallon. Like, it's just, it's very difficult for Los Angeles to compete. And I don't know that taxpayers necessarily should have to foot the bill for Hollywood largesse, right? And that especially because I think that they said in that article that California is one of the states that does not give money towards above the line salaries.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, no, we're not going to fucking let you use taxpayer money to, make sure that you get Robert Downey Jr. by paying him 30 to 50 million.
Yeah.
Right. It's like you could try to get him for 20, but if you use us, then you're definitely going to get him because we'll give you another 10 to 20. It's like, no, that's not what we're here for. And I agree with that.
Yeah. There you go. John F says, evening, gents. Do you think Marvel pulled Blade due to Nolan and MB Jordan's Vamp movies? Jeff, we kind of
I think we said, I think that does have something to do with it potentially.
Yeah, for sure. Max Law says, thoughts on Trump visiting McDonald's recently. Does this stunt benefit him in any way? I don't think anything anybody has done has benefited them one way or another. Like, people are very entrenched, don't you think, Jeff? Like, go on all the podcasts you want, pull all the stunts you want. Everybody, I think, is pretty clear about where they're going on this one way or another. Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, I got some good laughs out of it. Yeah. I mean, you should have seen me today. I was talking about The Apprentice on FYC, which airs on Friday, and I talked about how Trump is like the greatest show on earth. You know, like you can't take your eyes off this fucking guy. Should have seen like Perry's face. You know, like that's gonna live on our YouTube channel. I didn't mean, you know, I mean it as in like, I think that right now, you know, he's obviously dangerous. Yeah. He's considered a threat to democracy, but in a few weeks when it's all over, he'll go back to being like a fucking very entertaining punchline.
This is the thing at the end of the day. Yeah. I mean, I think that's it. Like, if he loses, I want him to lose the presidency and then go and be a reality star, go and make all your money all over again, do Apprentice, the reboot.
Right.
That's totally go and do that. You don't
trump it up.
You don't need to be president.
But not as the president. Yeah.
Let it be alone, man. You know, for God's sake.
Exactly.
You know, it's not your job. It's a black job. Brandon Barbara says, what is your take on Disney/Lucasfilm losing their appeal again to try to have the courts toss out Gina Carano's defamation lawsuit against them? Yeah, Jeff, it's all still in the, I see people whooping it up like this is some big victory. This is all part of the legal process, and Disney is exhausting all legal options before they have to go. It isn't because they're hiding these secret emails about Gina Carano. Come on, man. What are your thoughts on
She deserves her day in court. Yeah, I think it's as simple as that.
Sure. But remember, Discovery goes both ways. It isn't just Disney stuff that gets exposed. It's also Gina stuff that gets exposed. People got it twisted or don't read the legal profession. Like, the Discovery goes both ways. So they can have access to her emails, to her texts with people. All that will get exposed. I think she's angling for a payday to prove that she won in the court of public opinion. I don't think she's angling to actually have her day in court actually necessarily. I think she's angling for a good settlement down the road. Once Disney exhausts all their options, then settlement conversations will happen. Max says, happy birthday, John. Thank you, Max. My birthday is tomorrow. Hey, happy birthday to you. I really love the hot mic. All right, Max. That's your boy, Max.
Thanks, Max.
Brandon says, is Terminator a franchise that you two specifically would like to see completely start from scratch? Yeah, I guess if they do the Prey thing, I'd be down. Or Alien Romulus, I like that. But
yeah, I like Terminator. I think it's got a really like interesting mythology.
Yeah.
But again, I would need the next evolution of that.
Yeah. With AI, it seems like that would be something. Julius Wyatt says, happy birthday, John. Hope the year goes well for you. Well, there's only 3 months left, so I hope the year goes well for me as well. John, what film from 2014 do you want to do on the Cinephiles? Oh man, I gotta take some time on that one, brother. Let me come back to that one. We'll talk about it on the show for sure. Max Law says, I'm very excited for The Monkey. There's a sneak peek with long legs in theaters now. Love the dark comedy approach. It looks fantastic. Yeah, Jeff?
I agree. I think that trailer is super exciting. That and Companion are both like great trailers.
Oh, I haven't seen Companion.
And the other one I would tell you guys to check out is Los Freakies.
Yes, that was a good trailer. Agreed. Brandon says, I always felt like Disney's second greatest genre was sports movies, but it's been a long time since they put one in actual theaters. Any great sports stories you know of that isn't a movie yet?
Great sports story. Well, I mean, I think today the Comeback starts streaming, which I loved. Did you watch it?
Don't need to watch it. Fuck them. It was 20 years ago. Get over
so
it.
Good.
Good luck. Good luck. Congratulations. It was 20 years ago. We whipped you in numerous series. I'm
glad how
defensive
the Yankees fans get. I mean, I interviewed Brian Helgeland, the writer of LA Confidential once, and he told me he always wanted to make a Roberto Clemente movie.
Hell yeah. That would be an awesome story to tell. I think eventually you got to tell the women's soccer story. There have been documentaries, but there's never been a live action. You got to tell the 99ers story. You've got to tell that story, for God's sakes.
I actually like the idea of a Larry Bird movie, of being like, the white face of the league, basically.
Yeah.
In the 80s.
Get that. You know what would be great? Do a movie where you're mirroring Caitlin Clark's experience going into the WNBA and Larry Bird's experience going into the NBA. I think that Would be a fascinating back and forth movie. And John Ashford said, any thoughts on Torturo reasoning for not doing Penguin, re the violence his character would do? Yeah, Jeff, he said he didn't come back. They initially said it was because of scheduling issues, which we both know is usually bullshit. But he said it's because he didn't like the violence against women that was happening on the show. This is also the guy that choked out Selena Kyle in the Batman. So this seems like an odd reasoning for him to not want to come back and do the show.
Maybe he didn't like doing that. Maybe he felt uncomfortable filming that scene. He's like, I don't want to come back for this.
Maybe. But to date, there has been the only violence against women has been in the storyline with Christina Milioti, not anything that he's doing. So it's an interesting decision. I just think he didn't want to do it. I think he was like, you know what? I'm good. Cowboys fan 92 says, hey, John, I got a few things for you. One, did you see that Beetlejuice? Beetlejuice has surpassed Dune 2's box office numbers. Yes, I did see that. And fan cast your ideal casting for Clayface for the Batman 3. I like Jesse Plemons as Clayface. That would be an interesting choice. I like Jesse. Hey, Allison Wonderland, happy birthday, John. John, enjoy the Olive Garden. Hell yeah. From the Top 10 Collider, the Cinephiles, I think, Geek Buddies, Hot Mic, and so much more. We look to your straight shooter, repartee, and humor. Yeah, thank you. And that's why I do the Hot Mic with Jeff.
Birthday, Johnny.
Thank you, Jeff. Robert G. Quinta, thoughts on Turturro's comments on Penguin? We just talked about that, Robert. Thank you very much.
Everybody wants to know about Johnny Turturro.
I should have put it on the rundown. My bad. I didn't know you were watching the Penguin. I would have put it on. Fredtastic 314 says, is the race for the first in the NFL over after the trade with D. Hopkins and the Chiefs? We were just talking about this. Who could DCU trade with and for whom to make their movie a hit? Jeff, is the race over in the NFL with the Hopkins to the Chiefs?
I mean, I like the Chiefs a lot, but no, I don't think it's over. I think Hopkins is a little washed. So
he's a little out there. It's been a while since he's been a
yeah, he's not the Andrew Hopkins we all know.
Yeah.
Who could the DCU trade with and for whom to make their movie a hit? All right.
Movie? Go ahead.
I mean, I got to think about this.
Because Superman Legacy, Superman hasn't even come out yet. We don't know if it's going to be a hit or not. We might already have cast the right person.
Fair.
I don't know who you trade.
Who could the DCU trade? But forget who the DCU would give up because they really only have like one movie's worth of people. who would you like to take from another cast
to be in a DC movie?
Yes, like another big franchise.
I think Chris Evans as Green Lantern is a fucking done deal. He'd have been a great Hal Jordan. If they could have talked him into becoming Hal Jordan, he'd have been a great Hal Jordan. I don't know who. I mean, maybe Michael B. Right? Michael B. Jordan coming in. No, that's an easy one since he already doing a Superman.
I'll take Vin Diesel from Fast and Furious.
And
make him Lex Luthor.
You mean Flex Luthor? No, thanks, man. No, thanks.
Lex Luthor.
Lights, camera, super actions. And Salem's Lot was very good. Did you guys see it? Happy birthday, Johnny boy. Yeah, thank you very much, Lights. Did you see it, Jeff? The series?
I did not. It's a movie.
Oh, it is. I'm sorry, the movie. Sorry.
Yeah, I watched 10 minutes of it and turned it off. But so I did not really give it much of a fair chance. I would say I did not see it.
All right, fair. Samo says, thoughts on the reactions on Gladiator 2? We addressed that already, Sam. Thanks very much earlier in the show.
Definitely believe all of them.
There, he's being sarcastic. Susan Ferrer says, happy birthday, Mr. Rocha. I got a birthday box you can open. Hello. Viva la raza, Holmes. Show me where it spits. Whoa. Yikes. All right,
Jesus
Susan.
Christ.
Yikes. Susan, my girlfriend's in the other room, Susan.
Oh, my God.
Come on. All right, let's move on to these Streamlabs. Jeff, we might have to take a break, actually.
Take a break after that, please.
Yeah, let's take a quick break. Hose myself off, and we'll get into these Streamlabs and then get on out of here right after this. Susan's been frisky all show. All right. Sloth says, studios are saying survive till 2025. So will there be an influx of films starting next year because 2025 looks stacked? Jeff, is that true? Do you think that's going to happen?
Yeah, I do think next year is looking stacked. I think it's going to be a hell of a year at the box office. A lot of fireworks.
Yeah, I think this is the last remnants, and I think we're going, man. Sloth says, Variety has an article saying Joker 2 flopping is good for Warner Brothers. Does Terrifier 3 hitting mean more smaller films being greenlit? Is this a sea change in the industry, Jeff?
I need that one again.
Variety has an article saying that Joker 2 flopping was good for Warner Brothers. Does Terrifier 3 hitting big mean more smaller films will be greenlit? Is this a sea change in the industry?
What? No, what?
No, I don't think so either.
No, Joker flopping was not good for Warner Brothers. And Terrifier 3, I don't think it's necessarily like about indie, more indie movies will be greenlit or something. I think that horror movies could just wind up being more extreme.
Yeah, probably. That's probably more.
It's not like, oh, we need our movies like indie. It's like we need our movies super fucked up and unrated. So yeah, that might be what you get.
Yeah. Vinny_Chase. Hey, Vinny Chase says Entourage is the greatest show of all time. What is your favorite episode?
I think we all know the answer to that one. Episode 319, The Resurrection, featuring one Jeffrey Sneider.
Oh, that's right. Ew. Oh my God. You know who I hated on the show? Ari's wife. I hated her to pieces.
Harry Reeves?
Hated her on the show. Like, hated her as a character on the show. Ari was best when he was not with her. Fred Tastic says, hey, Hot Mike, and happy birthday to the Outlaw. Thank you, Fred. The show is awesome. What's the next big IP that is catching everyone's attention, like Mario Brothers or Barbie? Also, what sports movie would be a good Where Are They Now? I pick Necessary Roughness. Thanks, guys. Oh, where you check in with them years later if you were to do a sequel or whatever. Interesting. I'd have to say Hoosiers for me. Like, where are these guys? Are they all coaching basketball? Have they all moved on with their lives? Does the death of Norman Dale bring them back to rekindle or remember what it was
Such
like?
A layup that you just whiffed.
What is your choice?
It's the fucking Mighty Ducks, bro.
Oh, please. We've had 300 series and installments of the Mighty Ducks.
No, you got to bring back Josh Jackson, Kenan Thompson. You got to bring back everybody. And you do a proper movie.
Oh, good God. Good God. Yeah, I think that would have to be it, right?
Ducks fly together. Quack.
Quack. All right. What about the next big IP? I think God is War is the next big IP because they just found a new showrunner for that one. I think that's going to be massive. I think video games are where you got to look for IP now. Those are starting to become the thing. No? What do you think?
No, that's not what I'm getting. What is the next big IP? That's a good question.
Yeah.
It's a good question. I think it's Children of Blood and Bone.
Okay. Sounds good.
I think that's going to be big.
Ali Aloha says, happy birthday, Rocha. Question for both of you. What should happen with Ali's blade? Well, I think they should go back to the beginning and move Mahershala on, thank him, pay him a certain amount of money, and pick a new actor, pick a new director, pick a new screenwriter to start over from scratch. That's what I think. What about you?
I think you stick it out with him.
Okay. All right. Doug Developer, what's up, Doug? He says,
wait.
Okay.
All right.
You got more?
Yeah, I got more.
Okay. Are you going or are you not going?
I think that Mahershala is sticking with the project.
Okay.
I think that, like I said, that they are talking to a director.
Yes.
And I think that it'll start production in 2025.
Wow. Okay.
That is my prediction.
Sounds good.
Blade starting production next year.
2025. Okay. Doug Developer says, happy birthday, Rocha. What's up, Doug? Thank you so much. With all these Nepo babies taking over Hollywood, which Nepo baby would you love to see star alongside his or her real life parent? I'd love to see Jack Quaid and Meg Ryan star in a comedy together. That could be fun. Meg Ryan and Jack Quaid. I'd be down with that. What if we're going back to When Harry Met Sally, the sequel, and it's Jack Quaid with Meg there, and you bring Billy in?
Realize that's his mother, Meg Ryan?
Yes. You didn't know that?
I knew Dennis Quaid was his father, and I knew that Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan were together, but
yes.
Is that why Jack Quaid's so cute?
Yes.
Yeah.
It ain't Dennis.
That would be a fun pairing. I agree.
I like that idea. Yeah, which Nepo bit would you like to see? What about you, Jeff? Who would you love to see star alongside his or her real life parent? Is there anyone you
star alongside
Dakota and Don would be a lot of fun, I think. Don Jonsson.
I don't know. Sure.
Okay. All right. Mike Green says, hello, guys. John, the Brutalist trailer looks Hitchcock-like. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it feels a little bit like There Will Be Blood, but okay.
Once Upon a Time in America.
That too. I am worried about the overhyped reviews, and it looks like The Godfather. Are the days of seeing something that totally blows you away gone forever? # Pulp Fiction. I don't think so. Fucking Oppenheimer blew me away. What about you?
We wouldn't be doing this show. We wouldn't be talking. We wouldn't be interested in movies if we thought we weren't never going to be blown away again.
I think every year there's a movie that blows us away. 1917 blew me away, and so did Parasite for different reasons. I think there's.
If you were to told right now, right, if Jim Morrison and a naked Indian appeared to you in a dream, and they said, "John, you'll never be blown away by a movie again," would you even bother watching another movie? I think that's why we watch movies, is we hope to be blown away every time.
100% agree. I would never watch another movie. I would never watch another movie. I mean, Zone of Interest blew me away. Poor Things blew me away. Anatomy of a Fall was incredible. You know, that's last year. 2023, Everything Everywhere All at Once blew me away.
No, blow me away, blown away.
Hey, All Quiet on the Western Front completely fucking blew me away in 2023. Dune Part 1 I called it a masterpiece, and I meant it. Power of the Dog. I know a lot of people don't like to give it love. I think that film is fucking excellent. West Side Story is another one that I thoroughly loved. So in 2022. So I think movies blow me away every year, because I wonder at the great new talent that's coming through, or revisiting a great talent that's getting a shot to be back in the conversation, like Jane Campion. So to me, that's awesome about the power of film, you know, in my opinion. All right, let's see where else. We got 3 more here, Jeff. Sloth said, will you make the video about what is wrong with men today? You mentioned in a previous episode. Sounds like a great topic. Well, I am going to be launching a new YouTube channel. I've got the graphics and the logo for it very, very soon. So just look for that, and it'll address some of that as well as political stuff. So look for that.
Is this relationship advice, or what is this?
Oh, no, it's about men. What is wrong with men? What is wrong with men today? We gotta shape up our gender, man. There's problems. We gotta address things. We gotta talk about things. We gotta look at it head on. It's too much. We're out of control. We need to give confidence back to men, and we also need to get men to get off this hyper masculinity nonsense. We got to find the medium. We got to find the middle ground. We got to find the peaceful place to exist. I think we're too lost, man. It's my opinion. Anthony V says, happy birthday, John. Did you guys see the Coliseum popcorn bucket for Gladiator II? I don't usually buy them, but this one looked cool and a good consolation prize if the movie's not that great. Praying to the Roman gods it is. Yeah, Jeff, have you seen the popcorn bucket for Gladiator II?
Seen it. I've already booked us a hotel room that night. Light some candles.
What's your Deadpool and Wolverine popcorn bucket going to say?
I'll tell you what he's going to say. He's going to say, menage a trois.
Hey. Just a reference here. This is what it looks like. There it is, the popcorn bucket. That is massive.
I'm going to fuck that. I don't know how, but I'll figure it out. Believe me.
Easy, JD Vance. All right, let's see what we got. Ari Papermaster says they need to just have Blade show up in other things for the time being. Yeah, Jeff, maybe that's the way it is. It's a slow rollout where he's popping into certain things, because his voice was heard in Eternals. So do you think maybe that's the course of action here, having him pop in like Midnight Suns?
I just want to have a Blade cameo in every movie going forward where he just goes, boom, motherfucker. Just a few frames in each movie. Middle of Avengers Doomsday. A boom, motherfucker.
Are you trying to ice skate uphill again? Shit. Wayne Edwards says, hey, birthday, Rocha. I'm still on my Halloween movie watch. I saw The Oddity on Shudder. an above-average flick with great cinematography. I saw The Substance. That movie is so insane. It will end up in my top 10. Jeff, is it in your top 10 right now? Like, can you say tentatively?
Yes, Substance is, I think. Okay. Yeah, pretty close to it. And Oddity I did not care for.
Okay. Wasn't your jam. Happy birthday, JSR. Thank you, Devin. And fantastic popcorn buckets. Who knew? Bless you. Yeah, I've got a few of them. I took down my Godzilla versus Kong, got my Blue Beetle. I got my Dune 2 one over here. I didn't get the Deadpool and Wolverine one, though. I should have, for God's sakes. All right. Anyway, is that yours? What is that? That is cute. Is that your Wall-E? Is that a popcorn bucket Wall-E popcorn bucket?
No, it's a tissue holder.
Oh, wow. You're out of tissue. All right. That's everything. Let's get out of here. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us and coming with us because we had to change the time. We appreciate over 500 of you hanging out with us. Jeff, where can they follow you and where can they subscribe to your newsletter? Here's some of your takes.
TheInsnider.com, guys. Subscribe to the newsletter so I can go to the doctor, get medication.
There you go.
Clear up this these allergies are just killing me. Is anybody else sneezing a lot lately?
I don't get allergies, so I feel bad for you all that do.
Joe Rogan's got a man's nose.
Hypermasculine nose right here. As for me, you can follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, The Outlaw Nation on Twitch. Subscribe to the channel down below. Hit that bell button. Leave your comments on everything we're going to talk about. And don't give me shit about time codes. I get around to them when I get around to them, for fuck's sake. And don't forget to subscribe to our podcast. If you missed anything today and you don't want to see our pretty faces, you can listen to us on the podcast feed that is there available. Please subscribe to that. The more of you that subscribe, the more it'll attract sponsors, and maybe Jeff and I can make a little coin on the podcast side of things for that. So please subscribe. All right. Thank you all so much. We love you madly. Thanks for everybody for the happy birthday wishes, and we'll talk to you next time with another brand new episode of the Hot Mic. Peace.